With the loser on the floor.
Get down.
Let me clear my throat. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Somebody pass around the offering. Since I'm always preaching on tracks, you feel me? I'm out to get paid for it. Sermon of the day. You right where you supposed to be, baby. Informants informing, that information forming. Important you get a portion of fortune pouring. Confession, fortunately, blessings on now they snoring. You mellow, so focus on scoring. Got your underperforming. I never expect something, never assume nothing. Judging me for my past, but that's why I'm triumphant. I don't demand, I know where I stand like engineer hands. Watch how my life pans. That game plan, show out like a jotter, pop out like a crotter. Telling the quick rock, skipping the course, squares like hopscotch. This gonna be my mood to my beat drop. Putting my boogie shoes in my diddy boots, ain't no stop. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Congratulations on the celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. No congratulations on no celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. Yeah. If having hope is dangerous, call me evil Knievel. You leading on the wrong side, living with peasant needles. So lethal, made Shane Black wanna write a sequel. Cause I snuggle my dream till it's seen as illegal. And I still probably will, cause I can never give up. I got my goals calling me, how could I never pick up? Either we make up or just break up, and the snake kids get the rake up. Yeah, selfish, I'ma cake up if I don't shake me to wake up. Let my depression catapult me to succession. Shine a light on my imperfections like a projection. Every struggle a lesson, your issues ain't your oppression. Never got a question, they pushing me to progression like I'ma make the rest of my life live. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life.
Hey everybody, happy Thursday, happy Thursday, happy Thursday. We are making it through the week, y'all. I don't know about you, but I sure am glad about it. So good evening, family. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our usual Thursday night here on the Bravo with Sheila Network. I hope you all had a great week so far. There goes my girl. I know we all right now. I see her. She is in the house. None other than the greatest moderator on these YouTube streets. She is the lady Inay Kenya in the building on tonight. Good to see you, my beautiful. And as always, we pay homage and we give honor to the wonderful creator of this space, the queen bee herself. I call her my Auntie Bravo. She is in the person of Pastor Sheila Ingram, and we salute her with a bravo. Thank you for always sharing with me, yielding me this captain's chair on Thursday night so that I could spend some time, excuse me, y'all, with the good people. And I am glad, trusting me with this space. Good evening. And welcome. I'm putting my glasses on because I can halfway see with the lights in my eyes. So good evening, Shed We here. How are you? Thank you for joining us on tonight. I hope everybody's doing well. I ask y'all to like, subscribe, and share. The people going to be coming in and out, and that's okay. We'll wait for them. We'll be here for a little bit, for a minute. All right. And we are going to have a great night. You know, Thursdays is my favorite night because I love that I get to spend time with you, and you right here in this space. So, of course, as always, I'm going to ask that you would, as you pop in, just drop in the comment section. Come on, say hello so that we can greet you. We want to acknowledge you and thank you for being here with us tonight. And for those of you who are in the silent section, the expensive seats, again, we have ushers that are on standby to bring you down to the comment section safely. No need to fear. We have security here, so all is well. So we just ask that in the comment section that you would be respectful one to another here on the Bravo with Sheila Network. While we are not a Christian network, and I say this every week, and it's important that we put these house rules out. We are not a Christian-based network, although we are all believers, though most of us that are here. So we do respect everyone's thoughts, feelings, opinions, whatever your moral compass is. We respect it all. And so we ask that everyone would be respectful in the chat when commenting and conversing with one another, because here we want to have real talk with real resolutions. We want to be able to glean from one another and grow, open up our understanding so that we can communicate better with each other. And the best communication that we can have, or the best building of relationship that we have, is the one with ourselves. So if we start with ourselves first, we show up better. And when we show up better, we can do better about building better relationships, right? Right. Glad you agree. So again, we ask that you just be respectful in that space. And of course, you know, I'm a God's girl, so you always going to get a little Jesus when it comes to me. But that's my moral compass. So again, I want to welcome everyone. I want to thank you all for joining us on tonight. I am glad to be here. I don't know why I feel like I've been away from y'all, although I haven't, but I just feel like I have. So I'm a little sentimental tonight, and I'm grateful to be in the building. All right. But if you do need a little God, I just want to tell you, you can go right across the street to the SIM channels, right across the street. You can't miss it. Sheila Ingram Ministries Network. And over there, you have Pastor Sheila, again, who is the curator and the leader of these amazing spaces that have been created. Thank God for her vision and for her opening it up and extending it to us all to come share some wonderful content with you. But if you need a word, some encouragement, something to lift your spirits, speak to your soul, help ease your mind, bring peace to your day, go over to the Sheila Ingram Ministries Network, and you will find over there there's something different that goes on all the time. Great, rich words flow from the women and men from over there. Pastor Sheila is always on sharing a word, whether it's the Kabod, through the Kabod series, whether it is through worship and meditation. It's just always something, so you don't want to miss it. We have Pastor Rosa, who comes on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. She is my mom, so I'm a little biased, literally my mom. But we thank God for her. She comes on Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. And then we have the Women of Grace, who come on Fridays at 11 a.m. So make sure that you like, subscribe, and share to both of these channels so that you don't miss anything. And in the event that you do, you can always catch the replay. Make sure you tune in. I want to get all the good stuff out of the way up front, so that we can get into this great conversation. Make sure you tune in on Monday nights with my sister podcasters, my fellow Bravo with Sheila Network compadres, my Harlem Girls family, Coach Pache and Dr. Elaine, they are on Monday nights for Mondays Beyond the Mic at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you tune in there and support them as well. All right. So I believe those are all of our announcements that I have so far, and reminders with house rules and all that good stuff there. So we're going to get into it tonight. You know, it is the third Thursday of the month. And so we know on the third Thursday of the month, it is, I don't even want to call it toxic time, but it's actually one of my favorite segments here on Thursday nights with me, your girl, Lady Dawn B, because it is the men's lounge where the men folk come on, and it's testosterone. I don't want to say toxic testosterone, but it is all the men folk up here just talking and sharing. I'm the only estrogen that is here to help guide this ship. But on tonight, we have our men from the men's lounge. Some of them are away, but we are going to have this great conversation. I promise you it's going to be good. And I'm going to bring up my brother to help kick us off. But I do just want to take a minute again to just greet everybody so far, because once he comes up, it's going to be a wrap. So, hey, and Nay, thank you for being here. We appreciate you so very much. Thank you, Shed We Here. We appreciate you coming into the building. Again, my sweet and amazing, highly gifted auntie, Bravo, a.k.a. Pastor Sheila, the curator of this space. Blessings to you. I love you so, so much. We got Lady Deshawn Bill in the house on tonight. She is one of our Ladies Room Squad members, and we are glad to see her in the building. Hey there, now we have Alonzo Hall, the all-star advisor, in the house, saying salute. We are happy to see you on this evening. So again, please like, subscribe, and share, and make sure that you invite a friend, bring them into this space. So without further ado, I'm going to bring my brother up. Y'all know him. You love him. If you don't know him, you're about to know him. You've seen him. You know what he brings to the table. I call him number 2 of the Toxic Twins. It's usually him and Pastor Chris. But their toxicity is actually, it's not really bad. It's just a little it can be concerning, but they're not bad. No. They're just expressive and passionate about what they say, what they feel, and about the man space that they are in. So, for those of you who don't know him, let me introduce to some, be real churchy right now. Let me introduce to some and present to others. For those who don't know him, and for those that do, we want to give honor to my brethren. The Pastor Linwood Bill is in the building. Come greet the people, bro.
Just to let y'all know, I got Detroit Police Department and Wayne County Sheriff Department on speed dial.
Oh, Lord.
Because if I get any threats on my life because of my commentary, I got security. What up, Anae? What up, Lady Deshawn? What up, everybody in the audience? Lady Dawn B. Let's get this thing going.
All right. Now, some of our men, like I said, normally we have Pastor Chris. Unfortunately, he's working, but he should be on. Well, not unfortunately. We're glad, the Bible says a man don't work, he don't eat. So we're glad that all the men are working, but he is otherwise engaged. So hopefully he'll be able to join us at some point. We also have, hold on. I got to pop this up here because I want to get in trouble after the acknowledgments that you made. Okay, Lady Deshawn, that's his other half, his other 100. Together they make 200. They not 50-50. They 100. She said, "Hey, Pastor Bay. All right now. All right. That's after 8:30. It's too soon for that. It's too soon." I ain't mad at you. Spread the love. Hopefully we also have Minister Donald. Hopefully he'll be popping on along with Pastor Lindsay. He is off. We want to wish him and Lady Rhonda happy anniversary. They have been married, I believe, 20 years, 20 or 25. I can't remember. Been together a long time. Thank the Lord for good, strong marriages of color going on. So we want to, we also are expecting Gregory Bloomfield to pop up in the house, and hopefully he will be there. But guess what? We all right, because we got some good conversation that's going to happen. I've been starting trouble for the past week, actually. So I have to tell a little bit on myself now, y'all. Now we have Alonzo Hall, the All-Star advisor. He says, "My first time at the men's lounge, and I'm happy to see strong Black men online." Yes, sir, Alonzo Hall. Listen, if you make it your business to come on the third Thursday of every month, I promise you will see plenty of strong men in the house, strong Black men in the house, sharing openly, honestly, and earnestly. And the reason why we have just the men and I'm the only estrogen here is because we understand that men don't have a space to just speak freely. And on here, you're able to, just express yourself, because a lot of times you may start a conversation with the women or, lady of your life or just women in general. And the minute we hear a word in your sentence that we don't like, the moment we're triggered, we cut you off and then we go.
I'm glad you admitting that. Is this being recorded, Bo?
It is. We live.
All right.
We live.
Make sure.
It is true. It's true. There's some things that we have to work on as women, and there's some things that we have to, learn to adjust to. If we really want to improve communications and lessen the frustration that happens in our relationships, women, we have to learn how to discipline our emotions better, so that even though you're speaking, I've learned to, keep like a notepad or a pen or use my phone, because the minute you start saying something, yep, you said something that I don't like and I'm triggered, and my face may change, but my mouth don't open. But I'll write it down because that's something I want to respond to. I want you to finish saying what you're saying. I'm learning to respect that. Let you finish saying. I don't have to like what you're saying, but I do have to respect it and give you the space to say so.
Why y'all arguing with y'all men anyway?
Because life happens.
No, because why argue with your man? See, let's jump right into that.
We starting already. Okay, all right. Okay, let me see if we got any other comments. Let me see.
We want our men to be leaders, right? So
yes, sir.
It's not that your man doesn't want you to have an opinion. It's just that his opinion is going to rule at the end of the day.
Oh, see, that's where you go too far. That's where you go too far.
At the end of the day, if you want a man who is a leader, protector, provider, and you want him to be head of household, let him be the head of household.
Okay, that's a good place to start. So I just want to acknowledge Alonzo said, husbands unite. That's right. It's your night. So, we yield the floor. Our motto on Thursday nights in the men's lounge is something happens when men speak.
I love what the ACE perspective just put in.
Oh, yes. Lady Anitra. Hi, my kid.
Yeah, I love what she just put in the comments. You want to know why? Because she's loud and wrong. Here's why. It's a conversation, not an argument, but a conversation that does not necessarily need to be had. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. And I'm coming with the truth, and I'm coming
you come with
I'm coming with it as a Linwoodism. And here's the thing about a Linwoodism. A Linwoodism always has 100% truth and fact, but it would be subjective to those who are on the opposite end of the spectrum. All right. So here's the Linwoodism about the ACE Perspectives comment. While it is not an argument, all conversations don't need to be had, because once an opinion has been shared and you understand that his opinion differs from yours, and you've already, in most cases, said, I want a man who's going to lead me. I want a man who's going to provide for me. I want a man who's going to protect me. And I am tired. How many times have you heard a woman say, I'm tired of having to try to figure it out? I'm tired of having to come up with answers. I'm tired of having to do this and having to do that. And then when you get a man in your life who has already stated his opinion, has already stated how he feels it should go, whatever the subject matter is, why are you arguing with a man? Why are we having an unnecessary conversation? Help me, Lady Dawn. Help me understand why we having this conversation anyway.
Okay, so yes, Auntie Bravo. Because leadership does not mean that there are no other opinions that need to be had. It does or needs to be examined. Leadership does not mean, because that's dictatorship. And if you want to lead by dictatorship, then that's one thing.
Okay.
If you want to lead in a more democratic way, so to speak, where everyone, because you're not in the relationship by yourself.
Okay.
Even the dog doesn't want to be led.
Okay.
If we keep it real.
All right.
Because it has its own agenda as to where it wants to go. And sometimes you have to, I believe it's about respect and mutual agreement. Leadership doesn't necessarily mean that it's just all one way and not another. Now, you can lead from the front, you can lead from behind, and you can also lead from beside. And leading is not about the direction that you want to go in.
Right.
Leadership is really about the direction that the whole herd, that everyone has to go in, because everybody should be going together. So I may want you to lead. I may be tired of making decisions, but it doesn't mean that I don't want my voice heard. I want to be represented in the decision as well. Now, everything doesn't have to be a conversation. Some things, and I'm sure all of us as women, believe it or not, men, you may not think this and you may not feel this way, but there are some things that in conversations, a man, there's a way that men speak. I'm trying to find the right way to word it. There's a way that men speak that at a certain point, you say, you know what? Okay. And we shut down and we concede. Now, when we do that, some men, not all, tend to you can get defensive and thinking that we're angry now. But meanwhile, we're trying to keep the peace. You want to lead? Okay, you got it. Go ahead. You do it. You lead, I'm a follow.
Okay.
So again, I'm just saying leadership does not mean.
Let me ask you this.
Can I finish my sentence?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I finish mine? I'll let you finish yours and finish mine. You asked me a question. Again,
Okay.
I believe that leadership does not mean dictatorship. That's one way of leading.
Okay.
But it's about a mutual agreement about which way we're going. We have to decide where we're going first before you can lead. And it doesn't mean that it's just all what you say and nothing of what anybody else says. You have to be considerate of all things. And before you respond, I just want to read a few comments since we're already there. Anitra said, what I'm saying, I don't have arguments. What I'm saying is I do not have arguments. However, we can have conversations prior to discussions being made. Right. I don't like to argue either. There is a difference between a conversation and an argument. A conversation can lead into an argument, and arguments, once they calm down, can open up to conversations. Deshaun says exactly at Anitra. Alonzo said, although the dog is, as I said, making this just, and I'm not calling any women dogs and things like that. So please don't get me wrong, ladies. I was just using it as an example to say when you're leading. And Alonzo says, although the dog has its own agenda, it understands that at many points it has to simply adhere to the owner's leader's directives, which is true. It doesn't always go easily, but it also, in those spaces, I just want to say, that's where I believe grace and patience has to be applied, because dogs, any animal doesn't always just so easily turn because you turn it. Sometimes you're fighting because they want to go their way. So you have to come to an agreement eventually. Alonzo also says at Ace, that's a different conversation. We often ask for input and welcome it. Happy spouse, happy house. And I believe that. Happy spouse, right? Not just happy wife, happy life. Nope. Happy spouse, happy house. I can agree with that. And yes, asking for input is important and making sure that it is welcomed. But that's not what Linwood was saying. But go ahead, brother. Your turn.
What I was really trying to get at, and I'm glad you brought on the disclaimer at the beginning of the show, as always, that it's not a Christian network, but most of us are Christians. In my 50 years, I've never seen God give anything that's healthy two heads.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Never seen God give anything healthy two controlling entities under one roof. I will say this. I'm blessed to pastor a predominantly African-American church. I'm blessed to be the director, CEO, and founder of an amazing nonprofit. Both of those entities have boards. But at the end of the day, I'm the HNIC. All major decisions end with me.
Okay, they may end with you.
Hold on. It's the same in my house. So again, what we arguing about? What we having a discussion about?
Okay, they may end with you, but you have to hear everyone's. No, I'm trying to find the right word.
I hear you, but once I've heard you once, why I gotta keep hearing you?
Because we still feel we are not being heard. If a person is repeating themselves, it's because they feel like they're not being heard.
Lady Dawn, after I've heard you, right? I've heard you out and we've had the conversation. Are you saying that unless it goes your way, you're not being heard? Because that's what I'm hearing. Because unless it ends with what your opinion is, you don't feel like you're being heard. Because if I'm leading and I've heard your opinion as your man, as the head of the household, as the Godhead, if you will, if I've heard your opinion and my decision still is to go another way, unless you believe that me hearing your opinion again is going to sway me to go in the direction of your opinion, why do we need to keep repeating this?
Okay, Because, like I said, again, this is where you don't have to like the answer, but I'm telling you what it is. It's because oftentimes I can't speak for every woman. I can't, I never would. I can just say from my experience and from what I know, yes, there are instances and some women, and again, nothing is absolute. So again, we're having open dialogue conversation on tonight on a few topics. So just keep this in mind. It doesn't have to be an argument, but I found that when people are continuing to repeat themselves, yes, some are coming from a place of, I'm going to keep pushing, just like an adolescent, just like a toddler. It's going to keep pushing until they get their way. Now, if you as the man understand this, that this is the behavior, then you have to then figure out how you are going to address that. What is going to be your action behind? No, I'm saying, I'm not putting the ownership on the man. I'm saying, men, save yourself at that point. Because if you know that this is the person's habit and you know that this is how they're going to react and respond, you understand where it's coming from. Is it coming from the place of they just want their way? Or is it coming from the place of, again, that they feel like they're not being heard? I will continue to repeat a statement that I made. If I feel you are not understanding the content of my conversation, of my statement, because sometimes we say things, I say one thing, you hear it another way. When I was married and went to a marriage retreat, I shared this once before. We did an exercise called What You Said, What I Heard. And the exercise went, the husband said, okay, the sky is blue. The wife said, what I heard you say is blue is better than white. Or it's not red. That's not what he said. You got to stick to the facts of the statement. A lot of times when we're repeating what we're saying is because we feel that there is a misunderstanding as to what our point is. Now, I'm not saying this is all.
Ain't no misunderstanding.
Huh?
Ain't no misunderstanding.
Okay.
I mean, at the end of the day, and it's all because of what Alonzo said. At the end of the day, if the decision, no matter how the decision goes at the end, whatever the end result is, guess who that falls on? That falls on
it does. It falls on, right? And I'm gonna put that comment.
If I make a bad financial decision for the family, it falls on me. If I make a great financial decision on the family, guess what? We take that as a team move. That's the way it usually goes. But when something goes wrong, Lady Dawn, the onus falls on the man. And when something goes right, watch this. The partner usually steps in and says, we made a great decision. But we only make it a great decision when the result of the decision that was made, no matter who made it, is a positive result. We tend in relationships, watch this, we tend in relationships and in marriages that if I'm gonna just go out there and be transparent. Earlier this year, Lady Sean and I, we moved. We came into her old neighborhood, in a house that gave us the neighborhood that she grew up in. The house gave us a lot more space, a lot more room. It put us in a situation where we could spread out. I could have my personal office I'm sitting in and still decorating now. She has her. Guess what? It worked out as a great decision for us. But guess who made the decision? I made the decision on the house, basically. When we walked in, I said, this is our house. But everything that tends to go wrong in the neighborhood, whether it's a barking dog across the street or the boys decide that they want to do donuts at the corner in the middle of the night, whatever the case is, then the blame is on me. I made the worst decision ever on picking this house. But when things are great, when there's, oh man, we got enough space for the family, it's convenient, it's a central location, whatever the case is, oh, we made a great decision on this house. And that's how most decisions are come to and credit is distributed when it comes to decision making in relationships. Again, the question that initiated the conversation, and I know you don't want to stay here too long because we got other things to discuss, is that when discussions that don't necessarily have to be arguments, but discussions are had and a decision is made by the man, in my mind, that should draw some finality. But what you're saying is until you're heard, which I'm hearing when you say that, until the decision that's made is the decision you desire. Being
heard and getting the decision being heard and getting the decision that we desire is two different things. For some, again, nothing is absolute. And I'm not trying to. No. I'm not trying. I'm
laughing at my wife's comment.
Okay, and I'm gonna show them all. But I do want to address what you're saying, because my point is this: I totally understand where you're coming from. Again, on my job, I'm a supervisor. I'm responsible for my team. Whatever happens, as much as I relay information, as much as I may do whatever happens, if we don't meet our goal and stay on standard at the end of the day,
that falls on who?
Falls on me, right? And I take that, because I am the leader. Now, it's my responsibility throughout the day to determine how the workload needs to be distributed so that we can get to our goal at the end of the day. So that means I have to ask everybody, how you doing, where you at, what are you doing, where we at, okay, what can you handle? It's conversation that's had up front so that we all, and after we assess where we're at, okay, like you said, it's input. If your wife gave her input into it and this was the great decision, the input was there and you made the decision based on the input that was there, and fine. I'm just saying, in all fairness, we have to share in the victories as well as the losses. I'm on your side in saying that when something fails, yes, you are the face of it because you being the leader, this is the role you chose, and you know that it was the role that was given, the role you agreed to. So we already know what it is when we sign up for it. But women should not be absolved of that weight and let you bear it alone, because you made the decision with everybody in mind, and you made the decision with when the conversation is had with the input. No, this is what we agreed to.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm hearing this right. I just want to make sure I'm hearing it right.
I'm with you. So it doesn't mean that you hearing me doesn't mean that I get what I want in the end. You hearing me means that you understand my point and my perspective, that it's valued in the decision making. That's my point. What I'm saying. So I'm saying in this space, I understand where you're coming from. And I'm saying, women, we have to be willing to help bear the weight. Although the men may be the face when something goes wrong, you can't kick him now and say it's his fault when your input added to that decision that got you where you were.
It just brings us, in my opinion, sis, to a bigger conversation. God's daughters want to lead. Period.
And we might, because a lot of us are used to having to lead on our own.
But when you find, when God blesses you with that man that you prayed for. Now this is what I understand to be fat. These women out here praying and seeking and saying what they want, and in actuality, that's not what they want. They say and they pray and they get on Facebook and they get on Bravo with Sheila Network and say they want to
watch your boys. Boys, don't tell me we don't
they get on here, you know, with the sisters talking, Lady Deshawn and Dr. Brown and them, and y'all talk about how you want your Boaz and all. Boaz,
we not the Boaz crew. We not.
But the sisters that claiming they want Boaz need to understand that Boaz was a decision maker and a leader. And Boaz went on the facts of what it is that he desired as a woman, and then he led her. He saw her out there gleaning in the field. She didn't have on a pencil skirt. She didn't have on 6-inch heels. she didn't have 32-inch extensions with a 27, 30, 33 that went from one color to the next as it went down. She ain't have on none of that. She ain't have no red bottoms. She ain't had no BBL. She went in the field gleaning. And he made a decision based on what he wanted, cleaned that thing up, and put her in place. Let's talk about it.
Okay, if you want to listen, it's open to talk about whatever you talk about.
God's daughter. Now, I'm gonna let you shift the conversation, but I'm gonna close on this point on this. God's daughters cannot lead God's sons.
I'm gonna let you have that. Let that rest. We'll let that rest there. I will just say, my perspective on Boaz, because I didn't ask for Boaz. I'm just saying we got a whole nother issue with Boaz, because that whole story is not a love story. It's about redeeming land, and we have taken it to all out of context and made it something that is not. First of all, if you want a Boaz, you have to first of all find out if you are a Ruth to begin with. Are you able to do what she did? Because technically she was not of that people. She decided to stay with Naomi, who was mentoring her. A lot of women don't want to be mentored by a seasoned woman to tell you how to get that type of what you need, what requirement, what is required. But because we have been in such an insecure space, and this is why I say you don't want to do the Boaz thing with me. I hope y'all enjoying this conversation tonight. Like, subscribe, and share. The Bravo with Sheila Network. Is Thursday night with Lady Dawn B. We're here in the men's lounge having an open dialogue. Me and my brother, Pastor Linwood. If the other men pop in, that's good, fine, and well. We are ready for all the toxicity and having open conversations, because we want to help some people. But I understand what you're saying. You know, I think that women, we've been in a place of leading alone for a long time. And I will say, you are right. We do have to learn how to revert. But some of us don't know what that, I'm going to say, for lack of a word, submissive space looks like, what partnering in that respect looks like. We don't understand that letting the man lead does not take away from your value and qualities as a woman. You are of a stronger nature.
That's right.
You know, so when you want to be, you know, the HNIC, you know, in your space, you know, and that's great. Huh?
And let me say this too. Two things. Submission does not mean that you walk behind me. And it definitely doesn't mean that you walk ahead of me. Submission means that you walk alongside me. Now, in closing, for real, and I'm gonna let you have your show back.
You didn't take my show.
Listen, if you want a Boaz, you got to get off and do something. Because
right.
Ruth was not just idle, waiting for somebody to come in and be super save-hole.
Mm-hmm.
She was active, and you know, like you said, she was active in what she wanted for her life. She was being mentored, and she was seeking something. And when you seek something, sometimes you find more than it is that you're looking for. That's it.
Yeah. Truthfully speaking, she wasn't even seeking him.
What she was seeking didn't have nothing to do with a man.
Right. She was seeking to stay with her mother-in-law because that's what she now knew. But again, we're going to be in a whole nother, you know, what I mean, again, it's open dialogue night. So, you know, we talk about anything and everything on tonight. I want to read these comments because that's good. That's good, you know, and it's good that we can have these conversations. Yeah. And this is what helps us get off some of those sharp edges with us. Again, we don't have to like it, but we have to be open to hearing and trying something different. Women, it is a process coming from that fully independent space to a place of submission. Sometimes I think I told you before, I was like, I'm tired. I don't want to think. Listen, bro, need whatever you say. As long as we're not going off the cliff into a ditch or into a wall, as long as we're not going broke or we got no police knocking on our door. Listen, lead on, sir, lead on. I will happily rest in my feminine energy, give you everything you need to be strong and go long all the time. Whatever it is you want to do, carry on, sir, carry on. Let me read some of these comments. Right, it says Deshaun said it's all in the nature of the conversation and how it is being received and presented by both parties. There's no room for pride or ego in healthy partnerships or relationships. And that's true. And that's something that we have to learn. We can bring our individuality, but we do not need to bring pride and ego. We have to rest those things. And when we find them flaring up, we have to pause, take a moment, reflect, and drop them off somewhere.
This the one right here you about to read. This the one.
Renee says, I can't stay on the topic too long. I think if we have both fairly expressed ourselves, stepping away from it is best for me. I agree. First of all, I'm not an arguer. I'm not going to argue. I'm going to say my point and I'm going to leave it be. And when I see that we're going in that space, or I feel myself getting ready to tap into that women's space, I will take a deep breath and I just shut down, because I don't want to argue, because it is something small that's not worth turning into something big. So if I have to concede and be like, you know what, you don't have to like my attitude in the concession, but I'm giving you what you want. It's like, what do you want? You want to be okay. So you got that. Let me now process what that means for me. So yeah, we're not arguing long.
Lady Anae has proven to be one of God's last.
You frozen, bro.
I am hearing in her comment is, I'm going to let God's son that he sent my way lead me. That's what I hear. And we have to understand in these last and evil times, God's true son are standing up and saying, we ain't happy. Ain't no woman leading me, don't. Ain't no woman leading me.
Listen. Okay. Your mama led you for a while.
My daddy led me.
However, she had a part of it. I mean, your life may have been different, so let me not say that, because everybody was not raised in that setting. I'm just saying, women can have influence, but I understand where you're coming from. Right. I get it. But I will say, just to tag on to that, part of the problem too is that every man is not God sent. So you got to make sure that is God sent. Don't hold God accountable for your foolishness, for your foolish choice. That's on you. Because if you can't follow him, that's a problem. If you can't trust him, I'm being honest, since you brought it up. This is the men's lounge night. So I'm supporting the men. I'm support y'all. And I'm just saying, you can't hold God responsible for something he didn't give you and then want him to fix it. I know from firsthand experience myself. Okay? God said, I didn't do that. That was your choice. Now you fix it.
Yeah, but that's because these daughters not waiting on God. The Bible tells us, man that findeth a wife, findeth a good thing and obtain favor with the Lord. But women out here finding husbands, proposing and everything else.
That's a whole...
Yeah, so, when it starts out of order, it's going to be out of order.
Exactly. Listen, I ain't proposing to not a thing. I will make a proposal that we do something, but I'm not proposing, a business proposal, a ministry proposal, but there ain't going to be no wedding proposing, not from these lips. No, sir. That's not
word on the street is that Ginger Bloomfield proposed to
I wasn't there, but I don't believe it was a proposal. It was it was a proper, there was a timeline involved. Ginger, if you watch it, 72 hours. Hashtag 72 hours. I support you. I support your movement, sis. And listen, however it came about, he agreed because they married now. Okay, so he knew what he needed to do.
Married now.
I'm mad at you.
That's all that matters.
She said, "You will not waste my time. You will not." And then said, "Bro, you got 72 hours to make up your mind. 3 business days. What you fitting to do?" Okay. And they said sometimes the timing may not be the best for both of us to hear. For both of us to hear well, and that's true. That's true. And that's why sometimes you have to step away. I've learned again that I'm not gonna argue. I'm not good at arguing. I don't like how I feel because when I get angry, I'm not trying to hear you. You could be 1,000 times right. I could be 50 million times wrong, but I'm still not gonna hear you. I'm gonna set myself in my stubborn place. I'm gonna do everything to prove you wrong. You know, just on business. You know, because. So yeah, we have to make sure we have the right timing for us to hear each other, and you have to want to hear what your partner is saying, not just be the one talking. Deshaun says, "Yes, comprehension is key. These ninjas don't comprehend well." Well. Yeah, ma'am. She said, "Say it again. Who made the decision?" Alonzo says, "For clarity, when the outcomes are good, we did make a great decision." And again, I agree with that. But again, I am of the mindset that we have to share in the victories as well as the losses. If you, my man, my husband, I can't let you just go down alone. Like, I can't do it. I feel that is taking advantage. I feel that there's no grace being given. I feel that is you don't let your man put his neck out there and then get cut off by himself. You know, that's not being supportive. You know, you're not supposed to be the martyr, but you do need the support. So we have to bear all things together. That's my take. Alonzo says, example, I currently feel that I'm failing as a husband because I'm not paying all the bills. My wife doesn't feel that way, but I can't see. Oh, but I'm the HNIC. Therefore, I'm supposed to cover everything. King Solomon.
Oh, my God. He about to get in trouble with Bishop Michael Claiborne because this was a sticking point in the beginning of my marriage. Bishop Michael Claiborne is one of my best friends. I haven't talked to him in a while because he don't answer my call. But
that's my brother.
Listen, this is a sticking point and a topic that me and Bishop Michael Claiborne went around and round and round about. And his point was, let that woman take some of that weight off you. And it came a point in time where things kind of shifted. Just being transparent. Things kind of shifted of needing her help. Man, that thing messed with me. But let me help you out. Alonzo. Some of that is coming from a pure place. It came from me from being raised a certain way, where my father was, the provider, the sole provider, and being raised to be that way. But we're not living in a time where you can get 2 chickens in a bag for 72 cents.
Listen,
we're living in a day and a time where it takes more than one income, and it takes more than one stream smoothly. So man, you'll get over it. You'll get over that.
No, I agree. And I would just say to that, because that's what I was going to touch on. And hold on, I just want to pause real quick. Welcome, brethren. Welcome. We were just talking about you a second ago. I hope you heard us. Welcome to the platform. My brother Gregory Bloomfield is in the house. Mr. Motivational Moments himself. How you doing, sir? Before we get back into this convo,
I just want to say to everybody, Wagwan. Yeah. Wagwan. That means what's going on to all of my African-American folks, Caribbean folks. It's Wagwan. Don, how you doing?
I'm good, bro. We're good. We were just talking about you a little bit too. Maybe, but Linwood started it. That's what I'm gonna say.
My ears were percolating, so that's why I said, let me come up on this thing. Linwood, how you doing, man?
Bloomfield, tell the truth, man.
I told him it was hashtag 72 hours.
Hey.
Linwood, you froze. He was talking about you and Lady Zinja and who proposed to who.
Oh, clearly it was me.
I told him, I said, I don't think that was the case, but I know there was a hashtag 72-hour decision time making.
Yeah. It was for me, it was a 72-hour turnaround because I will say this, and not to put Zinja out there, but I will say this. She declared me as her husband, and then I proposed.
And that's
she was like, "Oh no, you're my man, my man, my man." And you know, I fell in like she looking at me like shaking her head. I'm like, yeah, you did, babe. So I was like, but you know what?
Support you strongly, Lady Z. Yeah. I ain't mad at that.
No, she basically said, "No, you gonna be my husband." And at first that scared me but then dating and getting to know her, it was very evident that I'd be a fool not to make her my wife. So, yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about leadership and about men leading women or women leading men. And then when it got to the point of us about how, you know, these daughters of God today are, you know, out here proposing, you know, and trying to lead God's, you know, and how a woman can't, you know, lead God's sons. And we were making the joke and he brought it up, you know, and I laughed because I thought of the podcast, you know, when you had the couple on and talking about, you know, she gave him 72 hours. And I said, yeah, Lady Z, like that was the formula. I was like, I'm not mad at that. Salute, sis, salute. But I think that's the beautiful thing, that she knew who you were. She saw in you what she needed and identified, you know, as a husband. And you were in agreement, not just with her being who you would want or identifying as what you needed of a wife, but about what you were to her. Because you had to be in agreement.
Yeah.
With her seeing in you all the things that she sees in you, and even some things she doesn't as her husband. You know, does that make sense?
It makes absolute sense. I mean, I've been married before. So one of the things that I will say is that my divorce, it ended 5 years prior. And I will say this, during that journey, through God, of course, giving all honor to God, who's ahead of my life, one of the things that what I had to do is make a declaration to forgive the old me for what I did. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the things that's very important for men is to take accountability where they messed up. It's not all her, right? And I think that's where the healing starts. So I had to admit where I was wrong in my previous marriage, where I didn't lead properly, where I stepped out on my ex when in retaliation because she stepped out on me and all kind of stuff. And it was just like, and own it I was wrong. And that's when the healing started. And that's when I said to myself, I'm not my mistakes. And I also said to myself that the next woman that is going to be with me is going to be extremely happy with me, because the old Gregory is dead and the new Gregory, my wife, is going to be the benefactor of what God has done, the work that he's done in me. So by saying that, and the proof is right there, look at that comment right there. And with that, because Zinja was on her journey of healing, and she often said that she is a wife in waiting. She wasn't single. She was a wife in waiting. So because we both had those, God working in us, we saw, game recognized game. So that's why it worked. It's working in our relationship. And that's why we're so passionate about what we have.
And that's great. And that's an awesome share. And I thank you for that. And, Lady Z is in the house. Just listen, she got her husband's back. Don't play with her, right? She'll cut you with a toenail. Don't play, y'all. And we also have intellectual. Hold on. Wait 1 second. I just want to greet Bishop Michael Claiborne is in the building. He's over here in the comment section. He is supporting you.
Good evening,
Bishop Claiborne.
Bishop Claiborne.
You should be up on your stage, sir. Though I could drop the link if you want to come on up and share also and be in the house, and because we got room for your voice. He said, yes, I remember that conversation. You are a team. And Zinja says, yes, Lord. She is agreeing with her husband. Bishop Claiborne, if you're free, you need to say something because we bring you up. Don't play with it. Go ahead, Linwood. Jump in.
No, I was just going to say.
You frozen, bro.
He's on that dial-up plan.
Wi-Fi. God keeps.
You don't hear it in the background here. You got mail. You don't hear it.
No.
Come on, sir.
I was just saying Bloomfield always so intellectual and in his bag of tricks when it comes to marriage and being the consummate husband and all that. Whatever he say tonight, I'm going the other way.
Oh Lord.
Today's the contrarian. Go ahead, sir. Well, you know what? You know what they say? Truth always rises to the top.
Well, that ain't what I heard. I heard cream rise to the top.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Go the other way.
So let me ask this. Like you said, you had to forgive yourself and be accountable because we've all been married before. And so now taking these second rounds, I'm just gonna say our second season. No matter how many trips we made, we in our second season. Well, I'm not yet, but I'm just saying. Did it make you question, since we were talking about leadership, and the thing about the open dialogue tonight and open conversation, we have a few topics that we want to touch on, but wherever it is that is the heaviest, I feel like that's where we need to stay because that's what's helping people, and helping the men. Because even as Alonzo said earlier about the position he's in, okay, well, he said he's currently feeling like he's failing as a husband and why. And even though his wife doesn't see him in that vein, and talking about what you're supposed to do, in the times of accountability and now the shifts from previous marriages to new marriages, how did that, did it affect you as a leader or feeling that you could lead? Well, I guess I'm gonna leave it right there. How did it affect you in feeling you were a good leader and could you lead again? And I don't know if it's maybe fair to compare, but you understand where I'm coming from? Because I think some men give themselves a hard way to go because you're looking at what you didn't get right the first time or previously, as opposed to looking at it as you're on a fresh slate now.
Yeah, that's a really deep question. For me personally, I always knew I could lead. It's just sometimes you pick a person that's not a great follower. And let me elaborate on that. You have some people that are bitter from their past relationships. I ain't gonna let no man do this to me. No man can lead me. I'm this, I'm a boss, I'm a this, I'm a that. And sometimes people don't know how to reel that in when it comes to marriage. So I always knew that I could lead. But the second part of it is I also had to realize that leadership is not one way for everybody. Some people want to be led, but they also want to contribute to the journey. And some people are completely hands off, and some people are a mix of both. So one of the things that I had to learn is I had to learn servant leadership. It's not enough for me as a man or as a husband to take care of all the bills, take care of this, lift everything heavy, do all these things, but not be emotionally there, right? Mm-hmm. So relate, and then setting an example for the family is faith, not just with my wife, but also with my children, our 5 children. So it was a mix of all things encompassed. But in terms of whether or not I had the power to lead again, leadership is in me. I'm a leader, but sometimes your strategy and how to lead would be modified based on the person that you're leading. If that makes sense.
It does. You're adjusting to your audience in your leadership. Sometimes you have to grow people with you. Especially if you have women, and this is partly what we tapped on before, with if you have women who have been in an independent, I do it all myself space, and then coming from that to a man who is all, I'm going to use this term, all man, and being that head leader, it's a transition for us to be able to let go, fall back, and open up to receive you as a leader. And I can tell you, it's a trust issue. I need to know that you can bear the weight of me and what comes with me. And I have to be willing to take that risk that even if we fall, even if you fall, even by chance, if you drop me, for me, the comfort is I have to trust you enough to know that even if you drop me, you know how to pick me up.
Yeah.
That helps me be able to allow you to lead more, to let go more,
And let me say this, Dawn. I'll say this quickly. Myself and Zenja have only been married a little over 2 months, so we're not going to say that we the experts in this. It is, we have wins, we have losses. So, but we know what the game plan is and what the strategy is, and we know what the goal is. So basically, I have to adjust how I am because I can be very choleric and very we're going to do this, and I don't take insubordination and da-da-da-da-da. But then I have to realize that Zenja's not my child. She's a vested partner in this as well. So yeah. And then also I have to take Zenja's view of what a man should be. And what I mean by that is that some women want their man to be this. Some women want their woman to be that. I have to listen to what she needs as a woman and as a person and lead her in that direction and lead her in that way. So I wanted to add that as well.
No, that's good. That's good balance. And thank you for that, because some men need to hear it from a man. Come on, Linwood. What say you?
I say that I don't look back to draw nothing from that experience because I married the op. Everything before Lady Deshawn was the opposition to my destiny. And if anything were to happen to me and her, she would be too. It's always their fault, not mine.
The opinions expressed on this podcast are strictly Linwood Beals and not a reflection of the Lady Dawn B and Bravo Network.
Not at all. This is the Men's Lounge. We hope you're enjoying this conversation. Thank you, Pastor Toxic Part 2, Linwood Bill. I love it. We're here before. We asked you to bring all the smoke and the fire, and he's doing just that. But thank you guys for that. And I think that this is just a major. It's really important, especially when it comes to finance. And this is one of the things we want to talk about too. So it kind of leads us into that same space. When it comes to men, how I think it's sad that men are identified by their money. And a lot of the value. Now, I understand about being a provider. The weight of being the head provider is on the male as the leader. But you are not the only provider, within. Because if we're all in this, in the house, everybody has to contribute to something, So, Alonzo, your comment is very weighted. And it touches on a lot of different aspects, because whereas you feel you're failing because you're not paying all of the bills, we as women, we're here to help And again, leaning on, I told y'all I'm God's girl, she's going to get a little Jesus. Leaning on my moral compass from a biblical standpoint, if we are supposed to be the helpmate that is suitable to support you, that doesn't mean that you do it all alone. That means that you lead in doing it. And I should be in a position where I can pick up the slack, so to speak. I can make up the difference. I should be able to put the icing on it so that it's all whole. It doesn't mean, because if you're doing all of that on your own, then what am I providing? And at least if you are in that position to take care of all the bills, that should not be the sum of all that you are. So I think that it's important that we as women, because my stance would be the same as your wife's. I don't expect you to pay all the bills. I don't. I expect you to do your part, whatever that is that we decide, however we decide, because every household is different. But I don't think that that should quantify who you are as a man, because that could be 1 out of 10 points that sums you up as a husband. And so for that one thing to discount and disqualify you and put you in a category of failing because you don't do all, it's not that you're not doing any. You're doing your part, but men also have to allow a woman to be that helpmate to them. So when it comes to finances as men, is that really a major issue for you when it comes to leading or feeling valued as a man and as a husband? Like, how much of that really do you allow to sum up who you are? Whichever one you want to start.
If I could be totally honest,
yeah,
this is probably the one time that I'll ever say this, and I'll never say it again. So y'all record it. I wish I would have listened to Claiborne at the beginning, and here's why. If I can be honest, and my wife is on, and she can tell you this is the truth. In the dating phase, in the very beginning, in the dating phase, I was spending somewhere between $200 and $300 a day in meals. Just meals. Sometimes we would have breakfast, lunch, and dinner outside of either one of our homes. And I was just spending that much in meals. Mm-hmm. So to look back now, with my attitude toward providing, it would have been the same, but a little different. My take is I've always been raised to protect, to provide, and just to show value in the relationship by being all encompassing, taking care of my woman, providing strength, providing structure, providing financially in every way. But, to what Claiborne and Bishop Davis were pouring into me at that time was allow her to see you outside of what you're able to provide. And I'm blessed, not lucky, but I'm blessed to have married someone that when things shifted, she didn't necessarily shift. Now, I say to her all the time that she did, just because, is what I do. But, the thing was my finances shifted because when I relocated, during the time I was relocating, I left the job because I wasn't going to drive over an hour a day, and then there were some things going on that job anyway. I left a job that was paying well into 6 figures to come to dusty Detroit, Michigan for love. So, in that,
not dusty.
Yeah, things change.
You heard that, dusty?
And then some
from the man's space in his soul.
Listen, then some life experiences happened that kind of shifted some things in our finances, and that took a toll on me. And to some degree, our marriage took a hit early on because I wasn't able to provide financially like I once was. Now, still, to this day, the brunt of the finances fall on me. And I would have it no other way. But, coming into the marriage, I had one idea of what this partnership would look like, especially financially. And 3 years in, it's a different perspective. It's where your half at on, on certain things. Now, she can never pay for where we live, for a long time. She didn't know what it was to make a car payment, in our marriage or relationship. Some things have shifted once again. And it, to a certain degree, if I could be honest, and this isn't toxic Linwood. This is Linwood.
Oh, you're not toxic yet. The
No.
Dusty was.
So, but to some degree, it has days, and today was one of those days where things mess with me a little bit mentally and emotionally when I look at the grand scope of things. If you get what I'm saying, Bloomfield, when you look at where you once were and where you are, and how you're trying with everything within you to get back or exceed, the level that you once lived, man, it can take a toll on you as a man, but it also can take a toll on you as a woman. Because watch this, Dawn. A woman is sharing her life, her space, her change, everything to have you in her life. And to some degree, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I am going to say this. I'm going to come back and
Free yourself.
I'm going to shred this thought later. She deserves to be well taken care of. She deserves to be provided for. She deserves, the space. A woman should not have to worry about. How ends are going to be met. And then providing a clear space in her mind of how to provide what's essential for the marriage or the relationship to be healthy from her perspective as well. Yeah. So, in other words, she shouldn't have to work as hard as I do to provide for the household or the family, and then bust it wide open 6-7 times a week too, because it's necessary.
Yeah. Preach.
You get what I'm saying? So
yes.
It's like, amen. I need, when I get her in that intimate space, I need her to already be turned out in her mind, because this ninja he doing what to take care of me? And he doing it how?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I need her thong strapped around my ear, by the end of the night. So, I mean.
Come on, sir. Come on. We grown. It's 8:30. It's almost. I know it turns into Lady Dawn be after dark at 8:30. You already know.
I mean, I need her to be in a space where her no never comes because my no has come out of necessity. The only time I tell my wife and children no is out of necessity. If I cannot, then it's no. If I can, and it'll put them in harm's way or danger, it's a no. So it's still a necessity. But if I can, and it's a benefit to them, if it brings a smile to them, if it brings, comfort to them, if it puts them in a peaceful, happy place, it's always a yes for me. Because guess what? There should never be a time where I go to her and ask her anything in my mind, and it be a no. If it's a no, then we have to have a deeper discussion as to why, because I'm doing everything I possibly can to provide a life for you that puts you at ease, that no matter what I ask for, and let me take my glasses off so I can no matter what I ask for. Don't slap it up, flip it, rub it, oil it up, super soak it. Let's put some trash bags on the wall.
Hold on, super soak it,
Super
pause.
soak it. Whatever. I'm trying to be careful because I know, FCC watching and all. But if I need you to slide down the wall, if I need to baptize you, if I need to baptize you in a pool of something other than water, you know what I mean? It need to be a yes. You want to know why? Because 16, 18 hours a day, I'm up doing what I got to do to provide a lifestyle for you that you won't have to be stressed. So when I ask, her soul better say yes.
Yes.
Yes. We're singing now, Lord.
Yes.
You heard, gentlemen, you heard it on the men's lounge. This is what we talking about. And look at that. Your toxic twin has popped up, said, "What's good, men's lounge? Your El Capitan. Welcome back, Pastor Bloomfield. I missed my toxic twin, Pastor Linwood. Still on the grind and listening." Yes, okay, I told you he would pop up somewhere. He says, "My God." Okay, so I just want to read a few of his comments and then I'm going to make a point. Claiborne says, "So wait a minute. Are you saying as a woman?" Okay, I got to put my glasses on for this. Hold on.
A woman can't run a
Fortune company and still bust it wide open. I don't think that's what he's saying.
Let me address that. I don't care, and I think Claiborne will agree, is that I don't care if the woman is running a Fortune 500 company. I don't care if she's an entrepreneur, a domestic engineer, aka housewife. I don't know what it is. A woman, not to mansplain, but there's two words that every woman needs: safety,
yes, sir,
and security. The two S's, safety and security. Therefore, a man needs to bring the three P's: provide, protect, and preside. Like when you got the judge, the presiding bishop, or the judge presiding on a case, he's the leader. He has a vision. And one of the things that just to piggyback, and I agree with what Pastor Linwood is saying, is that it's very important for men, before you even date, before you even think about having a woman in your life, what's your vision? What are you about? How can you expect any wife or any God-fearing woman, or any woman for that matter, to submit to your leadership when you can't even lead yourself? So it's very important for us as men to know what we're about, right? It's very important for us to say, look, this is what my goals are. This is what my dreams are. These are what my aspirations are. This is how I want our family to lead. And leadership is more than just paying the bills. It's also, you can pay the bills, but you got no savings. You paying the bills, you got savings, but you're going to spend it all because you're unhealthy. I have a fiduciary duty to my wife to exercise, to work out, to eat well, to drink water, all those things, because I don't want to be a burden to my wife. That's leadership, and that's providing for her. And so we just think about it as paying bills and paying rent and paying mortgage. It's more than just that. Yeah. So that is bring back to full circle the safety and security that every woman, I believe, or every woman that I know wants in a relationship and in their marriage, regardless of income or regardless of what their status is.
As a woman, I can definitely say, and I do agree, safety and security are key. For me, all the rest of that stuff, because I can take care of myself. I've been taking care of myself. My dad, my mother taught me how to be a lady, and my father taught me how to, my father, in a sense, taught me how to be a woman, not and don't anybody take it out of context. But when I say he taught me how to be a woman, he explained some things to me as far as how men operate, the support that they need and look for, how as a woman you should show up in a man's life, from a man's perspective. You know, he said no man wants a woman who he can't go out of town and she take care of herself, gotta be calling you, you know, like, honey, how do you turn on the stove, how do you do, you know, you need to be able to show up and be strong and independent, you know, to hold things down in his absence. You know, you have to be in the partnership space, because that's a form of support. Because how can you then go out and do what you need to do if you constantly have to be worried about what's going on at home in a moment? Not forever, but in a moment. So, you know, he taught me how to do some things, you know, so I at least can get by until. He didn't tell me to be the man, but he taught me, you know, some things in relation to from a male perspective. Because women, we only have one side of the coin, just like men, you have one side of the coin. You know, I think everything that you guys have said tonight thus far has been, you know, very important and integral. And I hope women are tapping in and listening. But for me, like I said, I can take care of myself. I can pay all my bills. I can do all of that. You know, I can change a tire if I had to, and not change my oil, and not do, you know, because God forbid you're stuck out there. And these are the things I'm saying. You know, my father taught me how to be an independent woman, because he said a man may not be around when you're on the side of the road. And nothing is worse than you sitting at home and all you can do is talk to your wife now on a cell phone and she's stuck somewhere not knowing how to do, you know. So there were certain things that I had to learn how to do. But for me, safety make me feel safe and covered and supported. You know, knowing that you have a voice that can calm my spirit or calm, you know, what I'm saying for me, I'm agreeing with Gregory is saying as far as.
But you just hit a sore spot with me and most men.
Which is?
While God's daughters and these sisters who don't know the Lord are looking for men to handle them in a way that brings comfort, structure, safety, and security to their lives. Why is it that God's sons are having to beg for the necessities? Hear me out.
No, I'm agreeing with you.
Has an atmosphere of comfort just gone out the window because women are now more creative, more enamored with the thought of career and lifestyle out of the home? They've had to some degree, in some cases, step to the plate and, you know, be a provider.
Well,
yeah, what I'm asking is, you want a man to provide all those things for you, but a man's home is a sanctuary. And when he walks in, and I've said this before, I'm not talking about my home, but things that I've witnessed. Why are we walking into the house stepping over laundry? Why are we walking into the house after 12, 16-hour days to no dinner? Why are we having to ask for sex? Why are we having to schedule sex?
I'd like to answer that. And I think here's the thing. For some women, and listen very carefully to what I'm about to say. There's some women who want to have a husband, but they don't know how to be a wife. Right? They want a husband. I want a husband. I want my Boaz. I want my this and that.
Boy, don't go back to Boaz.
But you don't. No. I had to go there because that's, you know, you have women who want to have a man, but they don't know how to be a wife. They don't know how to be a partner, a helpmeet. Everybody wants their home to be a sanctuary. Everybody wants to feel safe in their home. But a home, there's a difference between a house and a home. Luther taught us that.
Yeah.
And the thing is that we must understand that I make the home and your wife makes the home. We all have roles to play. And sometimes people have not the spirit of I want comfort, but the spirit of entitlement.
So you buy into the notion of gender roles then?
To a certain degree, I do.
Well, you the one who brought up the point of why you got to come home and the laundry's here and this is there and ain't no dinner on the table.
But here's the thing.
But that's the difference between
Hold
gender
on,
roles.
But here's the thing, though, is that you said gender roles. What was I doing before I got married? I was doing my laundry, taking out the trash. My wife does not need to tell me to take out the trash, to do the laundry. In fact, it actually annoys her to the fact that I start doing laundry. When I see the hampers full, I don't need an invitation to wash.
I didn't get married to do laundry, Bloomfield.
Yeah, but I don't have listen, the Beal home and the Bloomfield home may be different. But I'm just saying, we do the laundry. There's times my wife does the laundry. There's times I do the laundry. There's
You
times
making it hard on brothers like me, Bloomfield, over there washing clothes and putting
Every household is different. It's the BL home and the BE home are different.
Listen, we're not in Dusty Detroit. We're in
Boston, right?
we're progressive and very blue. But the thing is that I don't have a problem doing stuff like that. Guess what? Hey, let me really mess something up. There's times I cook dinner. You know what?
I cook tonight.
My wife don't have to cook.
That was not cooking. That wasn't cooking what you posted. Don't go there.
Yeah,
but I cook. I even cooked last night. My wife hadn't cooked this week, and I ate every day.
There's things that, and there's other things that I do. Like there's certain gender roles that I do have. So it's a hybrid. Like some of the things in our home, I'm responsible for maintaining our cars. It's my responsibility to make sure there's gas in every car.
Yeah, but what's
scheduled maintenance? That's me. Tires, windshield wiper fluid. You know what I mean? And my wife doesn't have to ask. I check the cars, right? And then say, hey, babe, I'm taking your car to the shop. I'm getting, and that to me comes down to safety and security. It's more than just paying bills. It's also, look, you're running out of clothes or whatever. So let's do laundry. And it means if I wash the clothes, then my wife, I don't have to ask my wife to fold them and put them away. But vice versa.
Yeah,
right?
But here's the thing, Bloomfield, because you are that kind of partner, every now and then, without you asking, she should tie you up with them dreads and do something strange to you.
Lord Jesus. How about
what? If I had dreads, but you know
about her. I know you got a dread wig around there somewhere.
She can tie me up in my bald head. Praise the Lord, hallelujah. Okay. I read in the
tie you up with her dreads. Look, she still got dreads.
Listen, she still got dreads, but you know what? Hey, when you're doing what you're supposed to do as a man, and you're doing what you're supposed to do, and if she's a godly woman and a good woman, you won't have to beg for nothing. She will let you.
And then she should tie you up with them dreads, do a backflip, and land on your mouth.
She lets me sow a seed in her ministry. Shando. All right.
All right. Listen. Welcome to it is 8:30. Welcome to Dog Being After Dark. It automatically, I don't care what we're talking about, when it's comes to be witching hour, it shifts and it goes up. Now,
Lady Dawn, can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
So earlier I talked about the 3 Ps, and I see at least 2 or 3 comments in there saying I thought there was actually 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get to that, but y'all were in your your so I didn't want to, stop the flow.
I don't want to take over your show, but
no. Listen, this is Men's Lounge Night. I'm here to host, navigate, and we are listening and sharing all of these things that you guys are actually talking about are all points that I had for us to talk about in leading one into another, because all of these things affect each other. It started out with leadership. We talked about finance. We were talking about, a relationship, sex and intimacy. And we were talking about finance. It leads into all these things. There's a lot of questions in the chat that are going on that I want to get to for sure. We could be here all night, but we're not gonna be here all night. But we could be here all night. So Claiborne had asked a question about are you saying a woman can't run a Fortune 500 and still bust it wide open? And that's what led us here. And I would just want to add to what you guys have already said, that the answer to that is no, it doesn't. No one's saying that. I believe what the men are saying, if I'm hearing right, or what Bloomfield was saying, is that help to create an atmosphere that is easier for her to come home and still be that. When it takes some things off of her plate, because we get stressed just like men do. Our days are hard and long, just like men are. And for me, to come home and I have to set myself to now be in the soft space, or to be, the woman in your life, your wife, whatever that role is, and put my hard day to the side and cater to you and your needs. It is not a minus to me, and I don't feel like it's a loss to me personally. It's what you have to do. But it helps if I've had that rough day to give me a moment of exhale where, dinner may be ready. Maybe you have a glass of wine. Maybe just, 10 minutes of make sure everybody's just quiet. So I can, could you put my towel in the bathroom? Whatever it is, just one simple gesture can make a difference to provide space for me to exhale so I can show up as that woman and switch those roles and not bring the stress of work home, to where we need to be. So we went on in the conversation. Pastor Chris was saying that the 3 R's for the man that need to get to the 3 P's: reconstruction, rebuilding, and restoration. And I believe that was in partnership with what I was asking about the transition from your leadership space from previous marriages to where you are now, and the comparison of places. I just want to add one thing, if I could, on this point, because something Lynn was said earlier about not comparing places, and you as well, Bloomfield, was I think that sometimes it's hard, on women, there's a process on our end, but I think sometimes, or what I've experienced, that sometimes it's hard. You're saying, as a man in the new space, there was a place that you want to try to get back to now, that you were before. And sometimes that can lead to, and I don't want you to, don't take it out of context of what I'm saying, but that leads to a comparison of places, and sometimes that's not good, because you will never recreate what you had before, so to try to get back to where you were sometimes means you have to get what you used to have. You have something new now. So now it's setting a new goal. But I do understand that there's a level of living that you want to get to. And we as women should be able to be patient and supportive with you through that process, knowing that this is for our better. It's for your better to begin with, but when you're better, you make us better. So we as women have to be patient and not pushy, and be able to say, okay, babe, how can I help you get to where you need to be? Everything, I'm about to get in trouble, but
no, go ahead. You're talking good.
Everything doesn't have to be an us thing. Everything you do as a man doesn't have to be a we thing. I want you to get to where you were, to get to the space that you need to be in for you. Don't do it for me.
Yeah.
Do it for you, because when you do it for you, you're going to show up as 100% authentically who you are. And that's the man I want to see, without the influence of me adding to the weight of you now feeling like you have to become somebody else for me. Am I making sense?
Let me encapsulate what you just said.
You're making perfect sense. Let me say this, Bloomfield, and I'm gonna give it right back to you. I'm not gonna be long-winded. When I was where I were, there was nobody but me and my daughter. I was in a single space with a 5-6-year-old daughter. That was it. so I don't want to go back to being single so that my finances will rebound. I want my finances to be strong in a marriage with a partner.
Right.
That requires some things that require balance on both of our ends and expectations and everything else. Because if we tell the truth about it, and I know, see, this is where Bloomfield won't leave me out here to dry. But if Claiborne would tell the truth, Pastor Chris would tell the truth, most men will tell you we had some money, was flying everything before we got married.
But then that's poor choices and decision making on your end. But I understand. No. Understand. Wait.
It's across the board.
And I'm not saying that it's not. I'm not saying that it's not across the board. We all have accountability, but we're dealing with men in their space right now. Women in our space, we have to, and that's what I said, we have to be patient and not pushy. I just want to say, my point or ending point of what I'm saying about comparing spaces is that also, men, you have to get adjusted to now having a partner in the process of your rebuilding where you didn't have that before.
Yeah,
a lot of times, right? It's something that you may not be accustomed to, so you don't sometimes know how to receive that. But you have to give space to get adjusted in this new space. It's like we see you, but someone is willing to partner with you through your process of rebuilding.
I think for me, the biggest challenge is having that added level of accountability when you were living by yourself for so long. Like back in the day, when I was single, it's like when I ate, everybody full. When I'm dressed, everybody ready to go out.
There you go.
I didn't have to tell anybody where I'm going, when I'm coming back. If I said I'll be back in 30 minutes, and if I wanted to take 3 hours, I could do that, because who am I accountable for? I'm accountable for me. But now that you have someone as your spouse, as your equal, right? You can't do that stuff anymore, right? The other thing too is that let me say this to the ladies to help you understand, men. And Dawn said it, but I'm just gonna encapsulate it.
Yeah. Go for it, sir.
A man will not change his ways until he sees the value in it for him.
That's
right.
Good.
You can talk as much as you want to, like back in the day, those of you who are younger in your illustrious audience won't remember Charlie Brown, but everybody will remember Peanuts cartoons, Charlie Brown and Linus and Sally and Schroeder and Pigpen and the one black guy, the DEI guy in that cartoon. Anyway, the guy, yeah,
not the DEI.
The DEI, the one black guy, yeah. You know what I'm talking about. I don't remember his name, but anytime the parents spoke, it was wah, 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 wah. Ladies, anytime that you nag a man, lean into what I'm about to say. When you're nagging and cantankerous and talk, and whine and all that type of stuff, we don't hear words. We hear sounds. It is so untenable. And then you hear it's wah, 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 wah. It's the same thing like the Charlie Brown cartoon. So don't nag, don't whine. Talk, reason, pray, and a man will have lasting change in the relationship once he sees the value in it for himself and his family. That's when permanent lasting change. Sometimes he'll just do it just so that you don't nag him and they'll just acquiesce. But if you want permanent change in that man, this is where prayer is important. That's when saying it in a way that he'll listen. And that's when you'll get the results.
Well, that's good. That's good stuff. Y'all are hearing it here first. Please like, subscribe, and share. We are having open discussion on the men's lounge tonight. I, for one, am loving this. I always love we can sit down and we vibe and we are talking. We always talk unscripted. And tonight, we just wanted to flow because sometimes we just need to let out of our hearts what's in our hearts, what's been building up. And you two are men who have come a long way and through much and have regrouped and reset. So, you're speaking from a place of experience. You have fruit manifested behind, your works. So it's been tested, tried, and proven. We're not experts in everything. Some of us are experts in some things, but I love that you share from your experience and that it is the men speaking from their place and their place of truth, and we can talk through these things. What you wanted to say, Linwood?
I wanted to just kind of let Bloomfield know that he was on to something. But in my case, most of my positive change as a man and a husband, where Lady Deshawn is concerned, has come through sundress season. When she put on that sundress and I'm walking behind her, basically any change she wants me to make, I will at least take into consideration.
So she has to get all of her. So Deshawn, you got to work your season, sis.
She has the power of persuasion, in sundresses,
this season,
bodycon, leggings, and especially when she wear those shirts, Dawn, you know what I'm talking about. They like garanimals. They snap between the legs.
Yeah. The ones kind of. Yeah.
Bro, what are you doing? Really?
It's after 8:30. This is what happens. And so just so y'all know, Pastor Linwood is about to, a matter of fact, and we drop titles. Linwood is about to go. He is entering back into school. Deshawn is on here hollering.
My man has a Garanimals fetish.
Tonight, right?
Yeah.
So
don't take him to Target.
When she fresh out the shower, she let me hit her with the super soaker, and she put on one of them Garanimals. I'm done. Whatever she want, I'm done.
You gotta pick your spots. Know your spaces, pick your spots. I'm just saying. Pastor Linwood is getting ready to go back in school and will be heavily attached. So he will be the reason for his extraness. He's not even so much toxic tonight. He's just extra. Is because he's going to be missing from us for a quick minute. But he will be back and making his presence known amongst when the men's lounge comes up. So, I love my brother. Lady Shawn told me to take the show back. It's men's night. I got to let them flow. I'm over here hollering on the inside. Your sis and decent, Lord help him. Lord help. We gonna get him some help. We gonna get him some help for real.
I just can't. When you keep saying hit him with the super soaker, that just
Hey, Bloomfield, don't tell me you ain't lined the walls with garbage bags or some kind of thick, heavy industrial plastic. Got you one of the biggest super soakers you could. Blindfold Lady Ginger and just hit her with the super soaker. Like
we just have blinds and drapes.
I'll send you the instruction manual.
And this is why this side of the street is not the Christian network. This is why we speaking freely, openly over here. Pastor Chris, he said, leave my brother alone. We're supporting him, sir. We're supporting him. We not yet. We're not picking on him yet. Lady Shawn is hollering. He's gonna have his own show. I'm gonna make sure we give Linwood his own night when he comes back, because I'm sure he will have much to say by that time upon his return. But I hope our conversation on tonight has been great and helpful. In this space, I love the men's lounge. I love the fact that the men, again, something happens when men speak. Now, I'm not responsible for what happens when the men speak, but I'm just saying something happens when the men speak, and it depends on which man is speaking. So, yeah, it has been a wonderful conversation thus far. We started out talking about leadership. We led into finance, which brought us into relationships and sex and intimacy, and a host of other conversations with super soakers. And now when you go to the store and you cannot find, you can't find those super soakers for your kids for the end of the summer or for Christmas, you know why? Check Pastor Linwood. Check him out. See if you can buy one from him. If you're wondering why, you go to the store, Home Depot, or any other home goods store and cannot find any large black garbage bags, reach out to Pastor Linwood, because now you know why. He has cornered the market on those items. When you wonder why, there's a shortage on water in the world. Don't wonder. You know it was Pastor Linwood's doing. His book, Super Soaker Love, will be on sale in December.
I got one for you. Super Soaker Love, Volume 1.
Hashtag black garbage bag. She's okay. I love you.
Tongues with the Super Soaker.
Book number 2 is going to be How the Garanimal Crack. That's what it's going to be.
You forgot one item though.
What's that?
Maybe I didn't mention it. The glow sticks. You need glow sticks
for nighttime fun.
No, you need glow sticks.
Jesus,
I'll tell y'all offline what to do with the glow stick.
You know what? That's fine. What's in your house
is in your house.
I'm trying to help y'all. Listen,
no, I don't need that help. I'm good. Okay, we're good here in Boston. We're good.
Just come get your husband. Come get your husband. This is come get this kind. We pray for you. We fast and pray for you, Deshaun, and we pray for your safety. We pray for your safety, sis. Pray that the Lord will forever lubricate your muscles.
No. Literally, pray for your safety.
For your kneecaps forever bend properly.
No, okay. Okay, last thing. Y'all got to understand. Glow sticks don't get hot.
No, they don't.
Okay.
And on that note, oh, Jesus. Now, see, here comes your toxic twin. Said there's power in the Super Soaker Shondo.
Come on back, Bloomfield. Come on back, man.
I don't know what happened. I'm not sure.
Glow sticks don't get hot.
They don't. They'll lead you and guide you into all truth. It's the see, now he done got me started. Okay.
Yeah. Glow stick, you can stick them anywhere, Bloomfield.
There's a blessing in the glow stick. That's gonna be the bonus chapter. There's a blessing in the glow stick.
There's a blessing in the glow stick.
My God. Well, again, I hope this conversation has been great and enlightening.
Which leads to another conversation as men and women of God, or men and women who have a relationship with God. Why do we get married and then our intimacy in our bedrooms become boring?
Oh no! Hey,
no.
I just don't talk about it.
You would be surprised.
The World Wide Web.
You would be surprised, though, some of the things that you hear when you counsel couples about how intimacy was before they got married. Because let's just be honest, everybody don't wait until they married to be intimate. So you go from swinging from the chandelier when you're single to now that you're married is missionary and go hurry up and get up off me. Or vice versa, he looks at it as a chore or, a duty to have sex with his wife. It becomes boring. Why is that? Why is it that now that God has joined us together and you're in all legalism, even if we're looking at things from a legalism standpoint from the Bible, she is mine. She is a part of me. She is created for me, for my pleasure, for my enjoyment. And then I'm not going to enjoy it. It just does not make sense. I mean, from my perspective, and Lady Deshawn and I share things with even the partners of our ministry and our family to just try to enhance the mindset the way you think about intimacy. You think about it from the standpoint of not just for procreation, but for total pleasure and enjoyment. I do not believe, watch this, I do not believe that God created Lady Deshawn and gave her all the splendor and glory that he did in every curve of every pound of her body, that he did not give her that for me, because he knew what I liked. He knew what I wanted. He knew what I desired. And I'll be damned. Can I say that? I'm sorry. I'll be doggone if I don't explore it all. Every single inch. Because my bedroom is not defiled.
In other words, Linwood is saying he's fully persuaded. Fully.
And D said, watch it. The Chandelier Ministry is trademarked already. He said, watch this from the Chandelier. Pastor Chris said, you good to pray in an unknown tongue. My God.
Well, yes.
I mean, we do need to have these conversations, and I hope that one day we really do. I really want to be able to set up a show for us to talk, real talk about sex and intimacy, because we want to help some people, because like you said, in marriage, all bets are off. In my mindset, we marry, all bets are off. Like if this is gonna be it, it's me and you for life. We gonna do every bit of imagination that we can. Listen, whatever it is, because again, it's me and you. It's safe. It's a safe space. It's supposed to be a safe space. It's supposed to be where we're able to, like you said, enjoy each other and create, something that's just us. A pleasurable space. But a lot of us, I think, still walk with the guilt in our mind, the church, and this with the church guilt, because it has been so pressed upon us so hard prior to marriage that no one taught us how to decompress that way of thinking, that when we get in marriage, we don't know how to be free. Right. And that's the transition that really has to be talked about to help people, because a lot of marriages in churches, in ministries, are breaking because that intimacy, that part of intimacy is key. That connecting is key. That unspoken space is key. You need to connect with your mate in every way. I don't want to just hold your hand.
Right. So for me, it even starts before the bedroom. Lady Deshawn and I we had an opportunity last weekend, no kids, went down to a festival.
Don't tell me there was garbage bags and super soakers involved already.
No. We went down to a festival.
It was a Blow festival?
No, it was actually an R&B and rib festival, but they had a gospel stage. Bishop Greg Davis was performing. So we went down to support the bishop. He married us and has been pivotal in our life and everything else. So we went down because we knew it was going to be good food, good music, and we could support our guy. So we went down, and of course, at any good festival, you have vendors, right? So we go under one of these tents that have clothes and everything, and I see a skirt that just said to me, Lady Deshawn. I know her sizes. She was standing there with me, walked past the skirt. And I said to the guy, hey, give me that in this size. And I told her when I bought it, we had plans to finalize our school shopping for the girls this Saturday. I said, this is what I want you to wear when we go out to finalize school shopping. And this is why. Because after I watch her in that skirt all day, pressure bust pipes. It's a build up to Saturday night. Because contrary to what most y'all believe, I do more than cook, eat, and preach. I'm a whole man with needs. And God gave me a wife who is appealing not only to my eye and to my spirit, but she's appealing to every part of me as a man. So I do things as days go by. Mm-hmm. I buy the outfit that I want to see you in. I send you the text message to let you know that I'm thinking about you and this is my plan for later. And I don't tell it all because you always got to, keep a little,
of course,
keep in the bag. But we have to understand that even as brothers and sisters in Christ, even as believers, even as providers of tangible things, security, protection, we still have human need of one another, in the intimate space. And I didn't marry that girl just to lay beside her every night. And you lay on your side and I'm gonna lay on mine. And it doesn't mean meet me in the middle of the bed every night at 8:00 either. It means that I become one with you in a way, watch this, that is not only memorable because of the experience, but when you get up from your desk tomorrow, I want your legs to be sore. I want you to remember me. You get what I'm saying? I want you to, go through your mind and say, ooh, and I wonder if he can again. So, and I can. So,
well, you don't need to prove it. You don't need to prove it.
No. I listen. We ain't about to turn the show into that. But
no, we I was gonna say the intimacy is the whole. Sex is an expression of intimacy that should begin way before the bedroom.
Absolutely.
But I want to just I want to read these last few comments, and then I want to give you guys space to give your final comments as well. I always love, and this is why I love the Men's Lounge, because it's so important that the voices of men be heard, so that women are not left to our own thoughts of how things should be or what you want it to be. But when we hear it from a man's voice, you can't argue with that. It's a fact. So Dr. ND, who is a part of the Ladies Room Squad, she says, honestly, some don't know the difference between intimacy, love, sex, and vulnerability in all these spaces. That is absolutely true. And that's why, we're going to get together. I'm going to get us together so that we can have a whole panel discussion and talk about these things, because we may not get to do it in the church, and it doesn't need to just be in the church, because this is not just a church thing. This is a human thing, and if we can help people feel more comfortable or come to a common understanding and understand the differences of these, it will help improve relationships one with another. And that's the part thing that we want to do. Pastor Chris says the churchdom is real when it comes to intimacy. What happened to the super soaker anointing at the Chandelier Ministry? My God, he trying to combine everything. Lord Jesus, have mercy. What happened? Well, okay, I'm moving on. I almost said something right there. Dr. ND says, honestly, again, some don't know the difference between intimacy, love, sex, and vulnerability in all these spaces. And she also says, I'll be on vacation for that room.
She shouldn't. She should be the chairperson for that panel.
Oh no, we're gonna make sure it's on a day where everybody is free and available and could come, because I really believe that it's important, and anybody who's willing to come and share and be transparent about these transitions that we go through. For as much transparency, well, there'll be some limits on the transparency, but we're gonna keep it real. No diagrams, no sharing screens, none of that. But I do want to thank you both for coming on and representing the Men's Lounge tonight, and Pastor Chris for being in the comments, along with Bishop Michael Claiborne for sharing. These conversations are so very important, so needed, and absolutely a blessing with all the nuggets and gems that we could possibly pick up. Dr. MD says, shut up. She said, I don't have any Scooby snacks. Oh, this brother and sister fight. No, we're not going to fight tonight. So, again, I want to thank you all for tuning in and for sharing with us on tonight. Before I allow our men to give their final comments, I just want to say this has been an amazing conversation about leadership, matters of the heart, sex and intimacy, relationship, finances, and just the whole space of connecting. I love open dialogue when we are not governed and guided by any particular topic, but we are free flowing, talking about what's on our hearts, landing where we need to so that we can be a blessing to the people. I want to thank everybody for leaning in and listening. I hope you got some good notes. Again, look for Pastor Linwood's book on the Super Soaker. We out in December. We're going to make sure that makes it happen for him, even if it has to come out in a in an email format. We're gonna make sure you got to be over 25 to have it. We need ID and all of that. We're gonna make sure because you get the bonus of the glow stick anointing if you purchase 2 copies of his original book. So we're gonna let my brethren do Brethren Bloomfield do the forward in the book. We're gonna let him do.
And it's called Slippery When Wet. Praise
My God. Okay. Hey. Come through now. Come through. So come on here. Let's see. Pastor Chris says, we all. Wait a minute. I can't. Jesus. Yeah, we are all pursuing of the things of God in degrees, but we don't know of the degree or doctrine to keep our women of God. I'm done.
And Pastor Chris, let me say this. Everybody, please go and vote for him because he's up for some awards. I saw in his comments and on Lady Dawn's social media, I voted for him in the categories that he is up for. So please, go on the Psalmist Voice Radio Network and support our brother so he can get the awards for being one of the best podcasts in the Christian space. So let's support one another with all the work that we do in the kingdom on these internet streets.
Absolutely. Thank you for that plug. I definitely was going to share that as well. So thank you for doing it so I don't have to. Come on and give us your final comments. And then Linwood, come on, give us your final comments. And then we're going to blow up out of here.
What I'll say is, first of all, thank you, Lady Dawn, for having us on the panel in the men's lounge. What I want to say is marriage, what it comes down to, it is love. If you love the person, you'll take care of the person. And it's not a burden or a stretch. You want your partner to be happy because when she or he is happy, you'll be happy. Marriage is about service, and it's really supposed to be a reflection of God's love and God's character. And if we keep that in mind, men will be better men because they're not chasing after. I hate the term chasing after God. Chasing means he's running away. When you are seeking a relationship with God for him to change you, and if the wife is doing the same thing so she can be the best woman, and you both are on the same path and God is in the center, your marriage will be successful. Will it have bumps? Absolutely, because the vicissitudes of life is always changing. But when God is in the center of your hearts and in your marriage, you will make it in Jesus' name. So I just wanted to share that and with that, thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
All right. Come on, brother Pastor Linwood. Come on, give your final comments so we can blow this joint tonight.
My final comments, first of all, thank you, Lady Dawn, for providing such a wonderful space for men to share their expressions of their thoughts and expressions of what life and relationship look like to them from a real perspective. My last thoughts would be advice to married men and men in covenant relationships. And I say that because we know that marriage won't find some, but they'll have significant covenant relationships. if you follow the advice of 3 prophets from the projects of Boston, Massachusetts, by the name of Ricky, Ronnie, and Mike, you'll be all right. Never forget, even though you're a provider, you're a protector, you add safety and security. Never forget to slap it up, flip it, and rub it down, and you'll be all right.
Oh no.
Listen, there's no other way that we could end the men's lounge other than that. I mean, it's Selah moment with a pause. So I just want to thank you, men, as always, for your time and for you investing your experience into these spaces. It blesses me as a woman. I appreciate your transparency and the challenging conversations that we have at times, because I believe it's truly helpful. And if you gentlemen were not as open about your experiences, real life, everyday experiences, some people would never understand that some things they go through are normal, and they would not know how to get out of it, because each one of you are, again, living fruit that you have survived your worst days. And now you're living at the beginning of your best. So I always want to thank you, men, for standing up, because, as we say, something happens when men speak. I'm just not responsible for what happens when they speak in this space. I cannot be held accountable, because Lord only knows what comes out. So thank you all for joining us on tonight. I want to encourage you, yes, to please go and vote for Pastor Chris, aka the Psalmist Voice. He's nominated for in 2 categories on the Spin Awards. So you can go to the Spin Awards, you can Google it and go vote there. He is up for Podcast of the Year, which is the exclusive interview, the final season, which sidebar, I don't know what he's talking about, but it's not the final season. It may be a pause in the season, but it ain't final. But okay, I'm just saying that. And he's also up for Podcaster of the Year under the Psalmist Voice. Today is the last day for voting. Use every single email address you have. Let's make sure that he feels our love, our appreciation, and our support. And make sure that you go and sign up, log on, follow him, follow his page, so that you can support him when he airs his show. Again, please join us next week. We are going to have some of our awesome authors come on and share from their books. I hope my brother, I'm putting him on the spot, I hope my brother Gregory will come back on next Thursday and share with us. I don't even care what book we got. I think Stuck in the 522 Man. I think we was in the midst going through it. It's so good. So I hope you'll come back and share on that. Linwood, if you have time and you want to come on and share from the book that you help co-author, please do. But come on and join us. We have some amazing people who don't just preach, they don't just teach, they don't have 9-to-5s, but these are authors as well. And we want to share their information. Join us on Monday nights for Monday Beyond the Mic. And make sure you tune in every Thursday night at 7 p.m. for Thursday Night with Lady Dawn B. I love you all. Please like, subscribe, and share. And be sure to join us again next Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good night, everybody. Hang tight, fellas.
Good night.
You ain't with the loser on the block.
Get down.